Yeah, so thank you for taking out time for this particular call and for discussing other IT aspects of your organization. So Mr. Samir, let's start by asking you, as a CIO, how do you see the role of IT in your organization in terms of since it's a uh, in the space of compliance and regulatory, so how do you see the IT playing role in terms of serving your customers and offering services?
Since as you know, we are into a compliances. So when it comes to a compliances, we manage all regulatory compliances. So as a CIO, I have to manage all IT compliances to the organization. That is the key part. So since we are a national player for the entire regulatory technologies in the Indian market, I as a CIO, I have a policy where I need to make sure that first thing the data is secure, and we need to provide the best solutions in the regulatory technology, because we don't see much of the players or much of the applications in the market. So I don't have a benchmark, or I don't have a reference point where I can refer something and build. So I need to keep looking at the new things and start building new things based on the feedbacks and the requirement from the market. So that is a challenging part what we have, and we have regularly changing compliances from the IT as well as the other regulatory compliances. So being up to date with that is the major part of my job. So where I need to keep up the organization as well as the solutions up to the current compliances. That's a key for me.
And what sort of policy you follow or approach you have or strategy in a way for cloud use of cloud mobility? What is your overall broader way of leveraging this kind of technology for internal use as well as for serving the customer?
We started. It's a we started with a standalone servers or a standalone systems. Then we slowly moved into AWS cloud. So all our environment, production environments are in the AWS cloud for all the security reasons and the higher uptime and the best technology. Then we started moving. I'm proud to say that we are the first customer for Geo Azure for server implementation. So we are planning to move few of our new servers into Azure area, so that we can be on the cloud with the multiple operators, so that at any given point of my for my clients, so they have the 100% access and 100% uptime. So we implemented in the as a core Integra IT policy that we are enabled ourselves even before the COVID also, that we can work from anywhere. So what we need a connectivity and the security. So we implemented security policies, and we in most of our offices we don't have any PCs or LAN connectivities. Everything runs on a Wi-Fi base or a wireless technology base. So the idea is to have a seamless office, and no matter what's happening, so we can serve our customer all the time with a 100% services. So the whole idea is to bring everything on the cloud, the secured cloud. And since we handle most of the secure data for PII data, so security is the primary key. So the goal is that my employee should be happy to work from anywhere, and my client should be in the peace of mind saying that, okay, our data is safe with the control F or the core Integra products.
And you touched on the security aspect. So what is your view, or what sort of practice you follow internally in terms of data security, or even from the cloud security perspective? What is the foundation that you are using, or you are working to ensure that security remains top notch, and there are no breaches, or those kind of incidences are very less, or you can be controlled or managed?
Yeah. So for this, we are ISO 9001 and 27001 2022 certified company, and we try to adhere to the almost all the policies. So for example, none of my products are accessible without the VPN, or if you as a client you are accessing my application, you can access through from your designated networks only. You cannot access from outside. For example, you are my client, so you're sitting in your office, you with your secure zone, you can access my application using your IP only. So Samir is a one employee who is sitting somewhere else, so he has a IP restriction. So we have a restriction at the user level, not the organization level. At the user level, I can restrict that who can access what kind of a data, and we track all the data which is being transferred from the server or within the server and within the systems also. So take example, we use Bitdefender, Kaspersky's to protect ourselves from all the malware attacks and all the antivirus things. Plus, we have a role-based control on the data movement also with the DLPs. So this gives me some comfort zone. I cannot say that, okay, everything I can leave it on a technology. So there are, when you say the loosest nut in your car is the one who is holding the steering. So the same way, the technology can be anything, but the user has to be trained, and they have to be, they need to be trained in a such a way that they own the responsibilities. That okay, I'm managing my data; it is someone else's asset. So for this, we conduct regularly. We conduct the ISO trainings and the information security trainings and quiz and internal audits. And of course, we have external auditors visiting us now and then. So I cannot say that okay, it is a breachless, but we have a very less breaches, or we can say almost towards the zero breaches. So that's the policy what we follow. It is mixture of a technology and the human resource. It's not just a technology.
And how much you pay attention in terms of mobile applications, because a lot of mobile devices are being used. So how are you leveraging, or still the applications are more accessible on the traditional devices like laptops and computers? How is that part?
We are into a kind of a hybrid part. So most of our applications are predominantly accessible by laptops only, because they are heavy processing data. But I can't ask a CEO of a company or a HR head of a company to go and log into the laptop. They can access the dashboards and the reports on their phones, where you can see them, but you will not get the complete data. It's a report. So, and that is also, we have a restriction on a MAC ID or a IMI numbers. So where we can restrict the access of all this data on their devices. With respect to our employees, we don't have any access of any data on the phones except the senior management people. Other than that, everything they have to use the laptops, because it is someone else's asset, so someone else's data. And we implemented mobile security applications also, and VPN clients also. If at all you need to access my data on the phone, enable the VPN and you can access all the data from that. So when we enable the VPN, it disables almost all controls, and even you cannot download, you can view everything. So this is how we manage at the Core Integra.
And bit of in terms of what would be the strength of your employees, and also the base of customers that you are serving at this point in time.
Sorry, I lost you in between.
I said what is the base of employees you have internally as an organization, and what is the base of your customers across India that are using your services?
We cater for 500 plus customers across India and around 30 plus domains. And as a Core Integra, we are into multiple dimensions. We are into staffing also. We have 15,000 plus employees including staffing, and core employees are 150. And we have a subsidiary called Core Integra Global Solutions. It's a pure technology company, and where the Control F is our flagship product, and it's almost 50 developers, so who manages all our internal applications and the supports.
And what sort of challenge you see as a CIO, specifically you are in a domain, compliance technology or regulated technology, how difficult it is to cater to this kind of domain, which is very niche, very emerging, specifically in a country like India. So how do you see challenges for yourself, with the technology as well as the compliance and regulations and laws, which are happening, changing, amendment happening. So how do you see the balancing part?
It is quite challenging. When I say challenging, it is with the people mindset also, and the government policies, because we deal with the regulatory compliances, the compliances changes now and then, and we have a dedicated team to do all the researchers and the connections and study about these new upcoming changes and the policies what government is planning to implement. So based on that, our subject matter experts provide us inputs which will implement in our products. And Core Integra is also into advisory, uh, hello. Sorry, we are also into advisory services for compliances, where we provide advisory services to our clients on the compliances part. So this is all about the compliances part. When it comes to a technology or a people, it is very niche market. We don't get people who are very well known to the compliances and who knows the technology also. So, for example, all regulatory compliances are known by the all these lawyers and law graduates and all. They are not a tech savvy. So somewhere we have to balance, train them, okay, on the IT part, and okay, take a developer, make them to sit with this compliance expert, make IT people to learn this compliances. Okay, so whereas for IT developer, when I say proforma or a form, so they don't understand what it is. So because for them it's a form is a normal form which is available on the screen, but register, when I say register, what is a register? They don't understand. But when it comes to a legal person, he will say, okay, it is a government document, we call it as a register, which is submitted in the government. So there are two thing issues everywhere, so we face that. So literally we face them.
And how large, big is your core IT team, that works on the core technology on the foundation, and how do, I mean, in your own team? Can you tell me about those elements as well?
So we have around 50 plus developers team. We have product heads. We have multiple products, like we have a compliance product that is called Control F, as a purely compliance regulatory thing. Then we have a product for your HRMS management, your claims management. Then we have a application to manage PF trust, the exempted PF trust. So we are one of the a few players in the market who manage large PF trust. And uh, these are the tools which are available as a product as well as a service enablers. So every product is independent and every product is different, because compliances for both of them are different from each other. So my teams are divided into verticals. So based on the technologies, some we are in a .NET, some we are in the Java, and we are in a hybrid. Then the common platform what we have is a team of RPA developers. So where it is not possible to build something within the application, or we cannot connect two things directly, so where we pitch in our RPA tools and the RPA team who will build a bridge for all this, where which is large data processing or data movement between the two systems. So we build something instantly from RPA tools. This is all the my team spread across.
And how you are taking care in terms of innovation? I mean, how much are you experimenting, or you see the power or capabilities through AI or automation, analytics? How are you leveraging, or at least you see these technologies playing a role in your field? How do you see the connect that can help?
It is very important part to have this AI and ML in our system, because everything is evolving along that. And the one step before the going into all this is automation. So we are doing automation using RPS, okay, and we do a process automation. Then we build RPS around that, so which will save a lot of time and effort and human errors also. Based on these RPS, we are implementing AI ML based modules, which will be coming into the market by mid of coming financial year. So where the users can manage many things by their own, and the data can be safely managed and handled without any hassles. So ML is very important for us because we are dealing with a very large set of data. For example, when recently there was a case where we did a higher pension scheme, government announced a higher pension scheme for all the pensioners. So where we had a lot of data, like the huge set of data from 1995 to till date. So it's a large data. It's a very good opportunity to build analytics around that, which helps our customer to take a decisions on the how things moved from the 1995 to the till date, or how it is going further. So that helps us in building our own setup. And as you said, it's AI ML is everything for future. So we are trying to implement as much as possible AI in our systems, and we have our own products which is coming up in a few months, so which will help the our domain people who can use their systems. Because when I say our domain specifically, the compliance people, what we've seen is not a large tech savvy people. It should be easy to use, and it should be understandable by the people, those who are non-techies. So we are coming up with some things in our products.
So this product would be more of a user-driven, user-friendly, individual usage kind of products, right?
Yes. So these are the product on a compliance domain. Compliance domain itself is a little complex, and the people, when it says to compliance, the people are get scared of things, like they hesitate to get into that. Okay, if law says yes, it is okay, I'll follow it. But we have to make these things easy to people understand. So we are trying to make things uncomplex, or make people to understand these things. So we are working on those products.
And how do you see the technology and competition in this kind of domain at this point in time, specifically in the market like India? How much challenges you see competitiveness that are offering similar kind of products, or how do you see the entire landscape when it comes to compliance tech or regulated technology market in India?
When we talk about competition, we have very few national level players in the market who are in the competition, and we have lots of regional and local competitors who processes. But this is not an organized sector. It's a purely unorganized sector, and where we have a lot of opportunity to grow and a lot of opportunity to make life easy with the digitalization. So we have a good scope and a good competition also. When it is a open road, it is up to you how fast you can drive. So we are facing the challenges on that, and we are since we are having 500 plus customer base, so we implement many of the changes are the demands as per the client's feedback. That helps us in a large scale.
Are the offering largely in the English modules, or are in the vernacular available for your clients?
To be a specific, our products are in English, and all the registers are generated based in a bilingual. So based on that particular state, we have to have a registers in English as well as a local language also. So based on the government policies in many states, they expect bilingual. So we have all those things. But many states, they say, okay, we're okay with the English. We have the Englishes also. So we support both.
You
That
did
is
mention
one
that
of the ISP for us.
it's in bit of unorganized. So how do you see the compliance regulation bit of unorganized? Can you just touch on that?
Because see, for example, a large organization which has a presence in pan India, who are trying to manage their compliances, and one day one plant they get a notice from a government, so that will remain in that plant only. The central head office will never come to know about that unless that document comes to the head office. And in our product we have a centralized management system where anything happens in any of their sites, just they have to upload that document in their system. The central compliance team, which is sitting in the headquarter of that company, they can manage it, and their legal team can sitting in the central base, they can manage all this thing. They don't need to be in the spot, or we cannot have a compliance team with every offices they have. So many of the players, what they do, they know only within the local state or the district. They don't know what is how it is managed when it is a centralized system. So that's where we play a key role.
Okay. And lastly, wanted to ask you what sort of IT projects you are working, or or you have in pipeline going ahead into 2024, that you see you want to build internally for your services and offering. Any you can give some a brief on those ideas that you are working as a CIO, in terms of bringing innovation using new technologies.
We are working on the few products. First thing, we are enhancing our product to the latest technologies, building all as much as possible. We are trying to invest on a AI based thing, so that makes life easy, and it will be easy for people to use. And since we are seeing a large or a huge change in all the compliances from the government, so we are building a agile systems which we can adopt. The moment the policy come into the picture, we can change it and we can make it available for our customers. So that is the key part for us. Apart from this, we are building a few more regulatory systems which is not available in the market as of now. So on a new reporting system which government is expecting on a sustainabilities, or we have RPAs for few of the critical processes where you don't need a human intervention. Make it run so that my human capital can be utilized in a better process or in a better places. So we are trying to automate things as much as possible, and so that my human capital can be used on a critical and a complex applications or projects. So this is what our benchmark for the new development.
And lastly, you mentioned about sustainability. So how is the ESG aspect element playing in the corporate sector? How are organization, based on own interactions with your clients and customers, how are they, aware or are ready to pay more attention to the ESG, as part of the corporate strategy or planning?
Many of the organization, they're now happy to adopt this ESG parts. And earlier, okay, it is there. Some people are religiously following. Some people were okay, I can follow it when somebody asks me. Now the trend is changing. People are going into a mode where proactively they are getting into all these things, and they're happy to explore new products in the market, and they are happy to see now. Earlier the compliance was like, okay, if I'm not compliant, I'll pay the penalty. How much I lose? I'll lose some money. But now it is a brand value. If I'm not compliant, so it may damage my brand value. So it is, people are taking it as a pride to be a compliant one. So not to see one red tick anywhere on their compliance calendar or a compliance table. So they want to be, okay, I want to be, follow the rules and the regulations as much as possible, and try to be on a right side of the law. So that saves their brand value, as well as they make them life easy with the management.
With that, we are done. And Samir, thank you for taking out time, and hopefully we shall talk again.
Definitely. Definitely,
and
we'll
nice.
see you again. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's
Thanks
nice.
for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Yog.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Pankaj sir.